Friends, this week's motivation is about trying to determine if the body is in fact an accurate reporter of the internal state. So that might sound kind of fluffy and abstract, but let me say it to you this way. So this morning I went on my morning kind of wake up walk and I was reflecting on the fact that I kind of it's a Monday, so I tapped into myself and I thought, how am I feeling today? What is my mood? There's a lot going on in my life right now, a lot of transition. And the funny thing is that I couldn't I found it difficult to discern what my mood was. And so I found myself kind of searching my body for signs, sort of like physiologically looking for the cues to tell me how I'm feeling. And as someone who suffers from anxiety, which I've talked about before with you, I think I do this a lot where I seek, to determine, is there a tightness in my chest? Am I breathing okay? Is my tummy feeling queasy? Like these are signs to me of an emotional state. Um, and I thought it was really interesting that in the absence of the ability to actually assess my emotions, my brain went to my body searching for clues. And the body is not always an accurate reporter of the internal state. And we know this because um, we know that the body can trigger a pain response in a situation where there isn't any damage inside the physical tissue, and so it's reacting to nervous system states or other signs of threats and so on. So it just kind of prompted me to reflect on the fact, like, what if it were the other way around? What if I could instead decide in the morning, I want to have a great day today. I want to have a day where I feel empowered and and calm and, open and present. What would that feel like in my body? And this ties back very much to the stress resilience talk, which I give at times in various formats, because there's a kind of experiential component where we remember a time when we were under stress and sort of tap into the physiology of the moments of high stress and how that shows up and how that's different for each person. But then also we tap into trying to conjure up a moment or a memory of a really peaceful time. And for me, we recently took a weekend trip to Ipswich to Crane Beach, and it was just, apart from the green-headed flies biting us to bits, but apart from that, it was a really, really peaceful time. We took early morning walks on the beach. The piping plovers and the terns were nesting, and so there's these little baby birds like running around in the sand, and like the breeze in the morning. It was just absolutely. I can still, you can probably see it in my face. Like I can still, because it's familiar and recent, conjure that up. And so, if we can conjure up a state of peace based on a memory of a moment, why can't we also conjure up the emotional states that we want to feel through the control of our minds? Um, and so this is something I would encourage you to experiment with. I'm going to experiment with it because this morning honestly, Monday mornings I normally wake up with kind of a sense of like panic, like what did I forget to do, and there's a lot of negativity. So I was encouraged that I didn't actually have a default go-to place this morning. I wasn't certain of my emotional state. And so I just said, well, I know how I would like to feel. And I think it's easy to just say, well, I'd like to feel good. I don't think that's specific enough for the brain. So I tried to imagine the very specific ways I'd like to feel, and then conjure up that image of like when I felt at peace and calm and, in control of my surroundings and most free, and try to conjure up those physiological sensations in my body in order to kind of promote this feedback loop that says, hey, brain, we're happy, we're in control, we're doing great. Um, this is obviously easier to do in moments where you're not under extreme duress, right? Where you have the ability to steer yourself. But I've just been like learning more and more from the people whose work I've been studying, that, you know, you do have the power to actually allow your emotional states to flow from intention. And that's definitely like a huge kind of aha moment for someone like myself with anxiety disorder. Um, so I'm going to be really trying to work on that, and I hope that that helps you as well. I mean, movement is a great opportunity to find those moments of kind of where you can channel your intended emotional state into your body. And so I encourage you to use movement that way. And yeah, check it out and let me know what you think about that. And I look forward to seeing you next week.